Uh, do we have the chat enabled? If you guys would pop in and tell me where you're tuning in from, and we'll go ahead and get started in a couple of minutes where I give you guys a little bit of my backstory. I think sometimes that's important. My name is Brian Ellsworth. They call me Coach. I promise you that this will be a little bit more informal than you're used to. We're going to have a candid conversation tonight, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what I see with this great company, what we have to offer, and then certainly you can make a decision on whether or not that's something that you'd like to maybe pursue, get some more information on, or what a lot of people have done. Matter of fact, over the past probably 2, 3 weeks here, we've had over 600. No, I didn't stutter. 600 people join us because they see the timing and they see the availability to actually change their life. So let me give you a little bit of background on myself since we're starting a little late here. And I'll give you the abridged version. My name, as I mentioned, is Brian Ellsworth. And, I entered this industry, gosh, probably about 24 years ago. And at the time, I had run a business, and it was a situation that is a traditional type of setup. I was working crazy hours and quite frankly, just needed a way out. And this industry gave that to me. When I looked at it, a couple things attracted me. Number one, I saw a lot of people out there, everyday people like you and I, that were being compensated very well. The second thing I saw was that they actually had time when they were making money. Isn't it interesting? Think about the people we know today. How many people out there that we know that have a lot of money? There's a safe bet that they don't have a whole lot of time. And the people that we know that have a whole lot of time and seemingly leading these fulfilled servant lives, guess what? A lot of them are flat broke. And the thing that I was looking at, as I said, I don't think it's an unreasonable request to have the time and have the money at the same time. Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be attractive? Wouldn't that be something that perhaps might inspire us to work a little harder towards something? And that's what I did. I jumped in with both feet. I got rid of the business and jumped in that business. I spent 19 and a half years with one company, did extremely well with them. Took my family all over the world. All the stories you hear of making great incomes, monthly checks, and the vehicle, going to places that I couldn't even pronounce before I went there. Things like the Galapagos Islands, Hawaii, all over Europe. And being able to swim with sea turtles and stuff. I can remember my eldest having her jump in the water, and we're literally swimming with turtles that are, I'm a pretty big guy, half my size and just as wide. I mean, wild, So yeah, I experienced a full life in that industry. And then what happened is something changed. Things kind of ran its course with that company. And I had a cup of coffee, I tell people, with another company, and I never really, really got into it. I was just kind of there and kind of not there. Made some money, but really nothing that I could get passionate about. And it was last February, I got a call from a good friend and a mentor. And she said to me, she said, Coach, I'm leaving our company. And I'm going to this new company. And I remember saying to myself, what in the world is going on? Because this gal was making crazy money in that business. And she was so successful at the top. And I was like, what happened? I mean, I'm thinking on the outside looking in, everything's perfect. All right. But little did I know, she was kind of thinking the same thing I was thinking. Hey, is this really, is this something we can get all that passionate about? And for me, I wasn't. And you know what? I guess she knew. And long story short, I jumped in with this company that you're going to hear about that quite frankly hasn't even launched yet. How crazy is that? We've been kind of hanging around for about a year now. At least I have. There's some people probably on this Zoom that maybe about 18 months up, but for me, it's been about a year. And we're just kind of getting ready. Well, the time and the clock is about to strike midnight, folks, because I'm here to tell you that in about 2 weeks, about a week and a half, I think it is, we're all going down to Orlando, and this company is actually going to launch. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what we've been able to do. I want to talk to you a little bit, certainly about the timing of the products in this company. I want to talk to you about a pay plan because, I don't know where you're at, but I can tell you this, that when most people are looking at a business or looking at a product or an affiliate program, they're probably saying to themselves, can they make any money? And yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about money tonight. Okay. And then I'm going to talk to you about kind of what your options might be. And to be honest with you, no pressure. You're going to find yourself in one of three groups at the end of my presentation, my little talk here. Okay. And the first group's going to say, you know what, coach? These products look amazing. I really would like to evaluate them and become a customer at the very least. We'll invite you to get back together with the person who invited you to this and get a hold of the product. Okay. This is a product that's changing lives. I'm going to share a couple of stories of my customers and how, I've had ladies call me up 3 days after a child was using this product. And I'm not a doctor, but literally in tears saying, wow, my daughter is back. That is impactful. Then you might be in the second group, and the second group, kind of says, wow, you know what? The idea of making maybe an extra $500 or $700 a month is really attractive to me, coach. On a part-time basis, that would change my life. I'd be able to maybe jot down some credit card debt, maybe put aside some monies for savings, for education. Maybe I could just get my kids out of daycare. Now, I want to speak to maybe the moms that are on here, the moms that have little ones, that have a job. I've talked to a lot of you. I know when you drop that child off at daycare, it's not a pleasant experience, but it's a needful one. You have to do it, right? What if you didn't have to do that? What if there were other options? And we're going to talk about some options and choices, which I believe when you have options and choices, your life is a little bit different. It's a little bit more fulfilled. Okay. Maybe you're approaching retirement and you're kind of looking at the balance sheet and you know what? It's not looking all that great. What if you could produce an income on your own terms, on your own schedule, putting in 10, 15 hours a week, and you could make your retirement that much better, where maybe those golden years could be golden. All right. Maybe you're in your mid 40s and your parents are starting to age and you're starting to ask the hard questions. What happens if something goes on with mom and dad? Am I going to be equipped financially and lifestyle wise to perhaps take care of them? I'm here to tell you that this industry allowed me to do that with my father-in-law. The gentleman literally spent his last 8 months in our house. And I won't get into all the details, but I basically was his caregiver, pretty much. I did just about everything I could for the guy. And I was glad to because I got to, and this industry empowered me to do it and freed me up to do it. It also has freed me up to make an impact in the lives of young people. Guys, without this industry, I'm not able to coach high school players. Okay. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about making an impact. And I've been able to do that for close to 24 years at a variety of different schools because of this industry. So guys, I don't know where you're at. You may be saying, you know what, Brian, a person just told me to hop on this Zoom because they're going to talk about a revolutionary product that is aging people backwards. Guys, I'm a high school basketball coach. I'm probably not going to give you a ton of those details, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. Maybe you're somebody here that says, you know what? I need a career change. I need to take control. we've got something here for you. So you might be in that second group. And then the third group, let's face it, some of you are going to listen to me and say, hey, that guy from New York, that high school basketball coach, he was a little funny, all right, but he really didn't do it for me. And this really, I don't have a whole lot of interest. You know what? That's okay too. Here's what I want to recommend if you find yourself in that third group. Maybe pass on a name or two to the person who invited you here, because they've got some dreams. They've got some goals. And you know what? You could probably help them. So I invite you to do that. So let's get right into it. I want to talk to you about this company, Frequence. Again, like I said, they're not even launched. Here's what I know about the company. At the heartbeat, Barb and Dave Pitcock, okay, they are people that are good people. I don't say that lightly. I've been around the block. I've seen a lot of things. All right. I've met a lot of people that aren't good people. I actually think I'm a pretty good judge. They're solid, solid people. They have formed this company out of a personal story to make an impact, not only mental health, but just to simply help people feel good now. And I don't know a greater message out there in today's day and age than helping people feel good. Could you imagine if we're able to just make a dent and help 20% of this population out there? Guys, it's a little crazy out there right now, okay? Can you imagine if we could help that population, just 20% of them, feel good now, put a smile on their face, and be able to attack life with a little bit of passion, and oh, by the way, be able to help some people. So, the mission, if you will, is solid. It's grounded. It has a foundation that cannot be kind of shaken, okay? I don't want to over dramatize things here, but I want you to think about being a part of a movement, a mission that actually makes a difference. Really, really important. On top of that, this is a company that's growing leaps and bounds. I told you we had 600 people, like in the last almost 3 weeks, join us because of that mission, because of that timing. We're going to talk about that a little bit deeper here next. All right. And not only that, it's a debt-free company. We are well-funded, debt-free. And I'm telling you, this is a company that we're here. All right, on that critical mass, kind of upswing. We're just getting started. I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time you had the opportunity to be involved in something at the early stages before everybody knew about it and before it actually exploded? I want to tell you a little story. And this is a story that's near and dear to my heart, because I can remember it like yesterday. And, I'm out on a golf course and there's a couple old timers with us. And I'm listening to this guy talk, and he's telling a story. All right. And as the story goes, he says, you know what? I had a good friend of mine in the late 70s. I may be dating myself. I wasn't him, okay, by the way. I wasn't the old timer, not quite yet. All right. But he said, he was talking to us and he was like, yeah, this guy came to me and he was talking about this company that was going to revolutionize how documents were produced and how we were going to look at duplication in, paper goods. And he said he looked at the guy like he had two heads, okay? Because he tells the story, and for some of you people that can remember, I really can't, but I do vaguely remember when I was in grammar school, they used to have these things where they would wind, it was almost like an arm that would wind, and it was called a mimeograph machine. That's how they made copies back then. Well, this buddy was talking to this old timer, talking about a company that was going to revolutionize that through a technology. And he was buying stock in the company. And oh, by the way, offered the old timer to buy stock in that company. Now, the old timer, he declined. And that was the point of his story, because, folks, that company was Xerox out of Rochester, New York. Go ahead and look up the history of Xerox. Millionaires were made that bought stock that got in early. I'm talking to you about a company that I believe is greater than that. And greater things will be done than even that. So hopefully I have your attention from a timing standpoint. Let's talk a little bit about the product line. Okay. We've got a product that we're introducing in a couple of weeks. And I don't know a ton about it. I want you to ask yourself what you know about a term, NAD. More importantly, I want to ask yourself how many people out there might kind of sign up for this question. If there was a way that you could literally turn your biological age back. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not making any medical claims, but do you realize that there are celebrities in Hollywood? Yeah, has anybody seen a picture of Jennifer Aniston lately? Has anybody seen a picture of Sylvester Stallone lately? It's a known fact. They're all getting injections or IV drips of this product, NAD. Now, what's interesting about that is it's very expensive. My research tells me anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 a year, these celebrities are paying for these injections to look like that. Now, what if there was a product that was available to the average American, the average person walking around on this ball of mud in Europe, wherever, because we're in about 20 different countries right now. What if it was affordable? And then I want to ask you, what if there were 3 products that had clinical studies that actually proved that it was 10 times more effective than what Hollywood's spending 50 grand a year on? Might have something. We might have something. Oh, and by the way, affordable to the average person. I don't know about you. The looks and the cosmetic benefits, yeah, they're attractive. But when I look at all of the other things, the things that it does on the inside, things like DNA repair, all right, things like allowing your brain to fire quicker. How many people out there would like to be a little sharper? I know I would. In our decision making, maybe in our focus, maybe in our productivity. So that's what's coming in February. That would be enough for me to say, okay, get back together with the person who invited you to this and hop on, because the train is moving. But you know what? It gets a little bit better because we have an established product that I want to talk to you about. It's called Rise. All right. This is a product that has 7 natural organic mushrooms. Now, before you put your hands up, you're looking at a guy that doesn't put mushrooms on his pizza. I hate the taste of mushrooms. This thing, it tastes like a Snapple lemonade. It's amazing. And not only does it taste good, because maybe you might have tried some of the coffees out there that taste like dirt. This tastes like a lemonade. It has a nootropic quality to it that actually fires up your brain and allows you to be sharper. Okay? Not only that, there's tremendous benefits because of the methylated B6 and B12 that's in this product. Here's what I can tell you guys. I was taking 6 different supplements, and this bad boy and the next one I'm going to talk to you about, Source, took the place of all 6. Let's talk about Source. Trace minerals. This is a product that's great for gut health. You've probably heard that your gut is your second brain. You better have that in line. You better have your digestion in line. Oh, by the way, the broccoli that we're buying today is nothing like the broccoli we even bought 20 years ago. Soil is depleted. There's no minerals. They've proven it. I think I read a study that said you'd have to eat, to get the equivalent of 20 years ago, you'd have to eat like 10 heads today of broccoli. I don't know about you. That's a lot of broccoli. I don't think I could do it. This is a product. It's a liquid. It's tasteless. I just mix it in with my Rise, a scoop of the Rise and about 10 ounces of water. Take a couple of droppers of this, and you know what? I'm good to go. And what's interesting, it's also taken the place of my pre-workout. I get up every day at about 5:40, all right? take care of myself. I come down here, I mix this up, drink it, go to the gym. No pre-workout is needed. I'm ready to go. I don't know about you. Look at the ingredients of pre-workout, you guys that work out. You ever itch after you take it? I mean, it's a lot of chemicals and junk in there meant to like, boom, get you going, but then you get a crash. This is like 4 hours of sustained energy. And you know what's interesting is that it's safe for kids. I've got a 13-year-old, takes it every day. Now she does the watermelon one because it tastes like a Jolly Rancher. And oh, by the way, a little tip, a little birdie told me we got a new flavor coming out in February. I was lucky enough to get a little piece of it, and whoa, tastes amazing. All right. It's going to make watermelon look like, the redheaded stepchild. Okay. It's amazing, this tasting product. So those are the products. We call it Rise and Vibe. You're going to see that terminology. You're going to hear people say it. I'm rising and vibing. Yeah, maybe if I was a 20-something, I could pull that off. I take my Rise and my Source, and I'm good to go. All right. One more product I want to talk a little bit about. There are a lot of people out there that struggle with sleep. I don't know about you. I sleep like a baby. But there are people that literally will wake up every hour. Or maybe you can relate to this. They go to bed and they're staring at the ceiling for an hour. Why? Because they're thinking about all the stuff they did today and all the stuff they got to do tomorrow and all the stress and what happened, what didn't happen, and they can't sleep. All their tabs in their brain are turned on, or they're on this device looking at the blue light, or they're just amped up and they can't get to bed. Well, you know what? We have a product called Sync. People have referred to this as the bedtime bestie. All right. This is a product. It tastes like a tart cherry kind of honey consistency. You just suck it down about a half hour before you want to go to bed. And you know what? About 6 to 7 hours uninterrupted sleep. You're sleeping like a baby, like you were when you were a teenager, like you were when you go camping under the stars and the air is just that fresh. I want you to think of that. That's how you'll sleep when you take this. It's got magnesium. It's got GABA to turn off those tabs. It's got collagen in it. A lot of really great stuff that your body needs anyway, that you're probably taking anyway, and you can't sleep. You might as well take it and be able to sleep. That's Sync. So that's kind of the product line. Yeah, we've got some other ones. I'm not going to get into that. You can talk to the person who invited you and talk a little bit about that. I really want to talk to you a little bit about our pay plan. Guys, as I mentioned, I've been in the industry over 2 decades. I've seen just about every pay plan there is out there. And there are some things that jumped out at me with this pay plan. The first thing was, when I looked at it, I said, you know what? The average single mom, the average dad, the average person out there could put in about 5-8 hours a week and make a good $300 to $500 a month like that. And then I started to ask myself, how many people out there would really be attracted to that? I'm going to ask you that question. How many people out there do you think could get excited about making an extra $300 to $500 a month, working about 5 hours a week, some of them right from their phone, what have you? A lot of ways to do the business. We've got everything systematized. It stands to reason that if Jane and John are making that, working 5 hours a week, doing some simple things, you know what? We could teach you how to do that, and you could probably do that. So that becomes a really attractive linchpin. Now, I know some of you are probably here and saying, you know what, Brian, $500 a month, kind of exciting, but I'm looking for more. I'd like to make more. Well, I'm here to tell you we have that. This is a company that developed their comp plan on the real dollar. Now, what does that really mean? In simple terms, that means when I bring $100 into the company, they're going to pay me my commission on the full $100. You see, there's no gotchas. There are no crazy BVs, CVs, and all the Vs. We don't have any of the Vs. All right. Here's what we got. You bring $100 in, you're going to be paid your commission on that $100. And oh, by the way, 20% commission on that first order. Whether you do one order or 1,000, you're going to make 20% right out of the gate on that first order. And by the way, on the second order, it goes to 25%. Now, let me ask you a simple question. If we'll call her Denise, if Denise was rising and vibing, all right, and she was able to replace some supplements that she's taken now, or maybe she was just introduced it, and her energy levels went up, and she had some sustained energy throughout the day. In other words, come around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she's not reaching for a Snickers bar or a fourth cup of coffee. Think about that. Impact on your health. And oh, by the way, she seems a little bit more focused, a little bit more together, a little bit more productive. The stress levels aren't what they used to be. In other words, she's not screaming at her toddlers at 3 p.m. Do you think she's going to stop taking it? No. Matter of fact, I can tell you my experience. About 75% of the people that get on the product reorder again. That's pretty powerful. That's residual income. That's getting paid down the road on something you did today. I don't know about you, but that's pretty attractive. Now, another really cool thing about the company pay plan is that there's a seat at the table for everyone. And you know what? That table is really big right now, okay? Because of the timing. I believe the table will remain big, but it's never going to be as big as it is right now, guys. I want you to remember the old timer on the golf course. He missed it. I don't want you to miss it. You may choose to build a team. Maybe help some other people make extra income. And what's really cool is this company pay plan will pay you a 10% override on that book of business. Now, there's some other details. Again, you can get those filled in later. But suffice to say, you build a team, you're going to make an override on that book of business on what they bring in. So as you help them make money, guess what? You make money. It's a pretty cool deal. And then this thing I saw blew my mind. Literally, you could start with us today, build a team, get yourself to a position called platinum. And I personally believe you can get there in 60, 90 days. Yeah, it's going to require some work, but you know what? You're working hard now, what you're doing. Why not work hard and get some freedom and independence and be able to help some people in the process? You get yourself to this position of platinum, which is an entry-level management position, guys. And revenue sharing kicks in. The company takes a percentage of the profits, puts it in a pool, and splits it. So you know what that really fosters? You see, Barb and Dave were really smart because in a lot of companies like this, it becomes territorial. In other words, oh, you're on my team. I'll do whatever I can for you. But, oh, Jane over here, she's not on my team. Yeah, I'll help her. But am I going to help her as much as this person over here? Probably not. Not in Frequence. We want everybody to win. Why? Because of that pool, that revenue sharing. Really powerful. It's one of the huge benefits of our compensation plan. And then the positions when you start to rise up, and I'm not going to get involved in all that, but the bottom line, the diamond pools in that, we're talking legacy money. We're talking a business that you can leave your grandkids. So again, I don't care where you see yourself, but if you don't hear anything I'm saying tonight, understand that there is a seat at the table, and it is an awful big table right now for anyone. Whatever you want, 300 to 500 a month, 300 to 500 a day. I believe 300 to 500 a minute's available. That's how big this thing is. So think about that. I talk to people a lot in coaching about accountability. You need your team to be accountable to each other. They need to be accountable to the coach. They need to be accountable to their teammates, accountable themselves. Well, folks, you all of a sudden are accountable. What do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. You will never, ever, ever be able to look anyone in the eye and say you weren't at the right place in the right time. Because by virtue of being on this presentation, it's one of those moments in your life where you can say, I was at the right place in the right time. Now, what you do with that is certainly your choice and up to you. But I want to talk to you about some options here. You know what? You can get involved in the company. This is wild. For $1. I told somebody on the phone this morning that I wish Barb and Dave charged $500 to join the company. They could for the value they give you. But you know what? You can get it today for $1. All right? Less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. All right? And what do you get for that? Well, you get a website. You get a back office command center of all your business that keeps track. Pretty cheap accountant. Not only that, we have funnels and automation. Guys, I've been in the industry for a long time. I've actually paid people upwards to $5,000 and $10,000 to build one funnel for me. This company is going to give you 4 funnels for $1. Wow. That alone should get you moved. All right. And then what's really cool, it's not like a franchise where you pay an amount of money for kind of the right to be part of things, and then you got to go buy all the stuff. We actually have some really cool starter packs that are designed to create leverage and cash flow right away. I want to talk to you about them. 2 most popular, one is called the Gold Pack. You want to ask the person that brought you to this presentation about this. But suffice it to say, we have a really unique selling proposition, all right? It's called a 5-day experience. And I talked to you about the benefits of this product, all right? You can get on this product for $100. That's it. But for some people, they need a little belief. They need a little proof in the pudding, right? And they might hesitate. And you know what's really cool about us? We have a marketing system. It's called a 5-day experience, where I take 5 of these sticks, put them in a nice little envelope here, all right? And I can get this to a person and get them in the door. In other words, it's a gateway strategy. It's actually the same strategy that Steve Jobs used to get you. Think about it. When they formed Apple, they sold this little digital player called an iPod. It was $100, $200. They sold that to you to get you into the community. To do what? To spend $35 and $5,000 on a MacBook. For $35, people are getting this all the time, all day long, and they have a 5-day experience where they can literally enjoy the benefits of Rise for 5 days. Now, I've had people after 1 dose call me up and say, I don't know what's in there. How do I get more? Sometimes it might take 3-4 days. I've actually had some people where it took 7 and 8 days. I don't care. But here's the really cool thing. When you start a business, it's self-liquidating, and that's a really big advantage. You can get this Gold Pack, which is going to give you some product to use for yourself. We have a really cool straw. All you TikTok fans out there, you see the anti-wrinkle straw? We have that included in our packs. By the way, it's tuned. I haven't even gotten into that. When it comes to frequency charged nutrition, what really sets us apart, all our products are charged with 11 harmonic frequencies. Guys, I didn't know what a harmonic frequency was before I got in this business. But as I'm looking at it, I'm like, whoa, it makes a ton of sense. Makes a ton of sense. Energy is everything. Have you ever walked into a room or had somebody walk into the room and it got a little dimmer? Bad energy. Somebody else walks in, it gets a little brighter. Guess what? good energy, high frequency. Same thing in our product. So they have a chance to try this for just $35. And oh, by the way, you get these in the gold pack and you can sell them. To start with the gold pack is only about $500. And guess what? In that gold pack, you get 13 of these 5-day experiences. You don't have to be a mathematician to figure that out, but you're looking at about $450 back, plus product for you to use. Self-liquidating business. We're talking about a value proposition through the roof. Where can you start a business to make what I'm talking about, to have the timing I'm talking about for $500? I don't know one that exists. Oh, by the way, we've got another package. This happens to be the most popular package with the people I bring in. It's called the Platinum Pack. Why? Because I have a lot of people that say, Brian, you know what? 13 is not enough. I want some more of these. So we get that Platinum Pack. What's really cool is that there's one of each, maybe for you, your spouse, your significant other, or child, okay? So you both can be on the product. And oh, by the way, you get 26 of these. When you do the math on that, it's about $910 back to you. Guess what? Self-liquidating, value proposition through the roof. Where can you start a business, folks, for $1,000? You can start one today here. And oh, by the way, have the timing that we have. Be able to get on the front end. Could you imagine if you were the first person to sell one of these? You and I wouldn't be talking right now. You'd be in Tahiti hanging around. That's the kind of timing I'm talking. So let me kind of land this plane. Let me get back to what I'm going to talk about here. Find yourself in one of three camps, folks. The first one is you're like, hey, I don't understand the business. This guy was excited. If this product does half of what he says it does, I need to try it. Get together with the person who invited you to this and get the product. It will change your life. You might be in the second group where you're like, you know what, coach? It really spoke to me. I could use an extra $500 a month. And you know what? Maybe when you look at the cupboard's a little bare and things are tight. You know what? That's okay. I believe desire can overcome just about any challenge. Do you have $1? Can you get started with $1? Can you somehow find your way to get a little bit of product and some 5-day experiences? And we'll teach you exactly what to do. We've got everything in place. You don't have to reinvent anything. All you got to do is plug in and do what we tell you to do. Because again, I want to go back. Stands to reason that if Lisa is doing A, B, and C and getting result X, which is $300 to $500 a month, stands to reason that if you do A, B, C, and D, you're going to get somewhere near X. Believe me, I'm a high school basketball coach. I'm not some genius, okay? I'm a pretty simple guy. All I did was I figured out I'm going to do A, B, C, D, and E. And you know what? I'm going to do it over and over, and good things are going to happen, and great things are happening. So you might want to get started with the business. Maybe you want to get started with that gold pack or that platinum pack. We invite you to do that. And we're going to be with you, cheering you on. And you know what? Not just your sponsor, everybody in the company's here to help you. We'll link arms. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't a something for nothing business. You got to work, all right? You got to put forth some effort. But again, I'll remind you, you're probably putting forth effort in something right now that isn't working. We're talking about something that could change your life. And then again, maybe you're in the third group. And you just say, you know what, coach, it's just not for me. That's okay. I respect that fully. But please, I would implore you, the person who invited you, again, is building their goals, building their dreams, trying to make a difference in their families' lives. Why not help them? Why not pass on a referral or two? I think you'll feel good knowing that you invested in somebody else. So, folks, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your attention. Again, please get back together with the person who invited you to this presentation. Get your questions answered. Remember, you're accountable. You'll never, ever be able to say you weren't at the right place at the right time because you were here. Folks, we wish you the absolute best. Take care. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye, everybody.